really proud of my team, and they're getting better. And we were getting better in late January. I could see it. We just didn't get the results that we wanted. And I knew if we just kept improving and kept creating and building and sustaining our identity, that the wins were going to eventually start to happen for us. And we're breaking things down, and we're 3-4 right now. I told them we're going to do things in chunks. That's how we're going to do this. And they really believe in it. I thought our leadership was fantastic during these last couple of weeks, but specifically after the Purdue game. They were definitely down. We turned that team over 23 times and came up short. But they came back in. They came back to work. They continue to get better. We had a fantastic practice yesterday. This first 20 minutes, if I could bottle that up on both sides of the floor, this is the team that we've been expecting for a long time.
Pat, the way that Tim Miles described Jamari is that he made a lot of hidden plays. Is that how you would describe his play tonight?
We call them attitude plays. They might not show up in the box score. It's like Mike. Mike might not get a block shot, but he alters a ton of shots, right? Just like Roby does. Jamari just speeds guys up, speeds players up, and he sets the tone for us on both ends of the floor. And the fact that he was able to get us some points and some rebounds and great assists with only one turn is just fantastic. So when he plays that aggressive, I think it really helps all of us. It really helps all of us.
I had a couple things, Pat. How do you account for your offensive efficiency in this game? I think it was almost 1.5 points per possession, which for you guys has been, I think, a pretty big number.
Yeah, I wish I could tell you. I thought we shot the ball well in practice over the last few weeks. And I just didn't – we haven't seen the ball go in as much as I would like. First half Purdue, we made 5. And second half, we didn't make any. So tonight, being at home again – we shot the ball well versus Michigan for the most part. And, the ball's going in the basket. Again, our offense, we're moving the ball, we're sharing the ball, we're putting pressure on the paint. So when you're doing those things, guys get in rhythm shots.
And Lamar's three-point shooting numbers have been really poor this year overall. When he makes a couple, what does that do for you, and what does that do for him?
Oh, it's huge. What it does for our team is it opens up the whole floor now. Because everybody's loading up. There's no space out there because Jamari's not a great three-point shooter. Johnny's not shooting threes. So now you got 3 guys that are not making threes. So when he's making threes, like he did at the end of last year when we went on that great run, the floor just opens up. And you know what? I could see it's coming. I could see his ball flight in practice. I could see his shooting in practice is really starting to get more consistent. So for him, his confidence is sky high right now.
Pat, you talked about at length earlier this season about trying to get Rozier to attack the basket and take better shots. What does it do for his confidence? What does it do for the team when he can get in the lane, make some easy plays in transition and then setting up open shots on the outside?
I thought he played a really well-balanced game. I challenged him after Purdue to play better defense because he was playing better defense. I challenged him to really share the ball and look for threes, search for threes, as well as keep putting pressure on the paint. I thought he really mixed it up very well today. He got in the paint, he finished, he got some threes. It was really nice to see him play with such amazing confidence. And I think he accepted that challenge. I think, the practice that we had, he was phenomenal on both ends of the floor.
Pat, I feel like this is the first time since maybe early in the season where both Lamar and Rozier are scoring efficiently. What does that do for your offense when both of them are putting up 20-plus points? And is this the kind of offense that you want going forward with this team?
Look, I would love – Lamar's been very consistent all year. I think we'd all agree with that. We always just need another Robin to the Batman. We need somebody to help him out. And sometimes we don't have that. But when we're able to shoot like that, or those 2 guys able to shoot, it just opens up everything else. I think that's why it opens up things for Jamari. And you saw us put it inside to Mike. And I thought Josh played after the first, I'll say 6 to 8 minutes. I think Josh settled in and played much better. So when those 2 have it going, it really helps out the other guys.
And you mentioned what Lamar's three-point shooting does for the team as a whole, but do you notice him have maybe an added boost in confidence when he's hitting 2 early three-pointers?
I think, yeah, I think we all do. When he knocks down that first one, you could see there's a little giddy up in his step. And then he knows the next one's going to go. I thought he took good shots, too. We drew some things up for him. I thought he executed, he took what the defense gave him. And it was nice to see his maturity level and his growth has really, really shined through tonight.
Pat, going back to Jamari and his offense, he's obviously not going to be a guy that scores 20 points a night, but over the past few games, he's been more efficient on offense. Why do you think he's looked more comfortable recently?
You know, I think we give him the confidence to be more comfortable. That's one thing I think we're very good at. I told Jamari, like in that Purdue game, you got to shoot him. You got to shoot him. Make somebody guard you, because we're a good rebounding team. We'll go get it. So play with confidence. Play with that chip on your shoulder. And I thought he did that tonight. And when he's getting, what do you have, 4 steals, 5 assists. When he's playing with that tenacity, everything else is going to fall. Like the free throw, like the layups, like the floater. Everything else is going to drop for him.
You go back a couple weeks to Ra missing that shot late in that game. That's a spot in a
Ohio
freshman's season that can linger in the mind a little bit. How important do you think it has been for him the past few weeks to play well and play past that and be able to have nights like tonight not far removed from him?
You know what? I talked to Ra after that. So much growth and maturity. He's such a willing learner. After that, I thought Lamar did a great job with him too in game, and then we met after that. And I think he has the courage and the guts to take those shots. And we need kids like that. We need guys that want to step up and take big shots. And he's hit big shots for us all year long. You know, I'll go back to Virginia Tech. Nobody realizes this. He's the one who hit the 3 in the corner to win the game for us at 2 minutes to go. So, you know, he'll continue to learn. And we've all learned from failure and setback. And I think that's why you're seeing this team really start to blossom right around now as we finish the end of the season.
And you look across the league, you'll see teams will give the Michigan State's a pretty good fight every night. It's harder sometimes to get teams to put up that same kind of effort against teams that are having a different kind of season. What's the value of being able to get a good performance, not only against a team like Michigan, but maybe a team like Nebraska that's got some injuries that's maybe not having the year that they want to be able to have?
Again, it shows, I know exactly where you're going, and I think it shows consistency. I think it shows a team that's completely bought in and trying to get better. I think that's what you're seeing. Because it easily could have got away from us at Purdue. But these guys have a lot of heart and a lot of determination, and they stuck together. And we cut that to 5 with 4 minutes to go. So they keep showing up, and that's what they have to do. And we're going to finish the season really strong.
Pat, you mentioned the 23 turnovers that you forced at Purdue, and that only turned into 17 points for you guys. But tonight, forcing 11 and turning that into 18. What's the difference in being able to turn this turnover into
I wish I could tell you, Taylor. I have no idea. You know, we're winning the rebounding battle. We're turning teams over. But yet we're not producing the points I'd like to see. Like, we turned it over 16 times, and Purdue produced 23 points, I believe. So it was nice to see us do that for once. And we need to continue to do that because we have some speed out there. We have some athleticism out there. We're really connected out there right now on the defensive end with our 3/4 court press and what we're doing. So if the guys can turn those into points, that always helps.
You knew Nebraska would probably throw a punch coming out in the second half.
Yeah.
And they did. They had that 5 overrun. How did you feel like your guys maybe responded to that and then to build on a lead, when you're up 20 points? You know,
it's really hard to play when you're up 20. You know, the guys look at the scoreboard and you lose focus a little bit, especially with the young team that we have. It became a scoring match. He tried to muck it up and press, and he did exactly what I would have done. Let's press and let's see if we can get them to turn the ball over like we did at Purdue and maybe get some easy ones. And we didn't turn the ball over. You know, we settled down. I thought that was the biggest thing. We did not turn the ball over. We were able to get shots. And fortunately tonight the shots were going.
Hey, Pat, a couple things in back here. First of all, Josh Reeves, he stuffs, pretty much every stat column, but tonight he hits that 1,000-point mark for you guys. What does that mean as a program when you have someone as consistent as he's been the last 4 years, just all over the court and obviously hitting that 1,000-point mark?
Yeah, I'm incredibly proud of Josh. You know, a lot of people think he's a defensive player, a defensive stopper. So this can put that all to rest. He also can score the ball a little bit. And he's been very consistent, like you said, over his 4 years. And he has showed up and defended and rebounded and tried to play Penn State basketball. Of course, I had no idea because, you know, I'm coaching a team. I'm not into the individual stuff, but that is such a credit to him and his work ethic that he's put over the years, and our staff. That's player development. You know, Josh didn't come in here as a great 3-point shooter. I think you remember back in the day, his freshman year, I think it was .022 or something, and now it was nice to see him get his 1,000th on a 3-point shot.
And Tim mentioned when Tanner Borchardt gets in early foul trouble for the Huskers, it takes one of their big men out of the game. It sort of opened things up for you guys offensively. How did you feel like your team was able to capitalize once Borchardt went to the bench with 2 fouls early?
You know, and I agree with you. I thought 20 is the key. Tanner is the key to their defense. He does such a good job of ball screen defense, dribble handoff defense, low post defense. He's their help guy. He's really their anchor back there, and you can hear him talking the whole game. So for us to get him in early foul trouble, and Tim had to keep him in with 2. You know, you get at that point where we're scoring the way we're scoring, he had to take some risks. And unfortunately, he ends up getting 3, and that definitely put him off kilter a little bit because he's definitely that free safety back there telling everybody, or the linebacker telling everybody what to do.
Pat, you guys have kind of struggled with, scoring lulls in various games throughout the year. You didn't have one tonight. When you don't have a period like that where you're just struggling to score the ball, how do you think that impacts other areas of the game, whether it be flow, defense, or
when we
what
don't
have
have the scoring droughts? I think our defense is much better. Guys are willing to talk more because the ball's going in the basket, so everybody feels a little bit better. That's why I give these guys credit. When we do go through those lulls, we're getting stops for the most part. You know, that's the hardest thing for an 18 to 23-year-old to do is when the ball's not going in, can you still play the same way? And I think we've proven this year, again, the results, our record's not where any of us want it to be, but we're still competing at a very high level to stay in games when the ball's not going in. So the fact the ball was going in tonight, you saw our defense, everything was, just better, more energy.
Pat, obviously the score allowed you guys to get a lot of guys in off the bench tonight, but for a majority of the game, it felt like you only were going with a 7-man rotation, just bringing Mike and Ra off the bench. What went into that and not giving guys like MJ a shot earlier in the game?
I just felt like that rotation was playing really well, really consistent. My plan was to play MJ. My plan was to play Kyle. But the way these 5 to 7 guys were playing collectively, I felt like we had an advantage, and I wanted to keep that advantage going as long as I could. We called fist up. A couple guys put a fist up, but I put that guy right back in because he was playing so hard. He earned the right to go back in and not sit on the bench for a longer period of time, where I might put MJ back in or I might put Kyle in those situations. So I felt like those 7 guys with Mike gave us an advantage.